keep the names of the guilty. All right, my friends, this story takes place right around this week, but in 1985. Okay. 1985, spring of 1985, the Monday before spring break of 1985. I'm 14 years old and in 8th grade. I am a turd. I'm a bad kid. So, in this story, you're going to hear various names. You're going to see various locations. And you're allowed to laugh. So, growing up in Tempe, Arizona, let's take you to my house that I grew up in. If we can advance. There we go. So I grew up at 1823 East Yale Drive in Tempe, Arizona. This is my house I grew up in. Yes, it's still owned by my family. Let's take you on a little adventure. The who's who of this neighborhood. Directly across the street from me in this house is Matt Owens. I've known Matt Owens since 1974. He is my closest, best friend I've ever had in my life. Okay? In this house right here is Duke Gunnigan's house. Chris Massey's house is here. Mike Miller lives here. Bill Ebright, notice he's the one without a pool. You guys ever that one slow friend? That was Bill. Mike Stagner lives here. Shane Beaujolais lives down here. Scott Pearson lives here. Okay. Various other people live that are not pictured in here. So basically, in 8th grade, my house became the home that up to about 14 of us 8th grade boys would show up to, and we would then walk to school. Basically, how we would walk to school, basically how we'd walk to school is we would jump over my fence, walk down this way, we would cross McClintock and go down this alley, and I'll show you some visually a little bit where to get to. And that's what we did. That's how we got to school, and we would just do the opposite of that after school each day. Okay? Now, where this large white building is, see it? You see it? Basically, where this large white building is down here is where the old farmhouse for all of my neighborhood was. So my neighborhood, from like the 1950s until the early 1970s, was an orange farm. They would grow oranges with citrus. Now, when they built the neighborhood, starting in about 1972, my house was built in 74, they left a large amount of orange trees throughout the neighborhood. So all of us that bought homes, in fact, these 2 orange trees are still there to this day, and they still continue to produce oranges twice a year. There's 2 growing seasons in Arizona. You have spring and you have fall. So, that big white building down there, again, this is where the farmhouse was. All around here was a lot of orange trees. Yes, we all had swimming pools in Arizona because in the 1970s, Salt River Project, who was the electric company for Arizona, they couldn't keep up with the demands of electricity during the week. And they would send half the electricity to houses, meaning your air conditioner didn't work at your house. And they would shut it off from about 9 in the morning until about 6 o'clock at night. So outside would be about 116 degrees, and your house would get up to about 110 degrees inside. And then they would send the rest of the electricity to the houses, starting about 6 o'clock at night, so your air conditioner would run literally all night trying to cool off your house down to a temperature that was bearable. So it was cheaper for Salt River Project to build swimming pools for anyone who wanted a swimming pool, because when it's hotter than heck in your house, go get the pool. It was cheaper for them. Arizona had an unbelievable amount of water. They thought this was the best resource. So all the swimming pools you see in this neighborhood were free. All of these swimming pools now, if you were to put them in, probably cost you anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000. They were all on the ground. Now the nice thing is, if you notice, so my roof line next to the pool, Duke's roof line next to the pool, Matt's roof line right next to the pool, Chris Massey's roof line. Mike Miller's, it was a too far to jump, but we tried. So we used to jump off the roof into the pool. We used to ride our bikes off the roof into the pool, skateboards off the roof into the pool. If someone got hurt, well, rub some dirt on it and let's move on. That's how we used to go through life. So we're on our way to middle school on the Monday right before spring break. Me and up to 14 of the guys are chatting about our big plans for spring break. So again, we go from my house, jump over the fence, walk down this way, cross McClintock, go down this alley to get to our middle school. Okay, so a little more perspective. Shane Beaujolais' house is here. That's going to come into the story in a little bit. Todd Boatner lives right here. Andy Munoz lives right over here. Scott Schindler lived down here. It's not a picture. TJ lived up here to the right, down Cornell. So we go walking across the street, more like a run across the street, and it is now Monday after school. And for some odd reason, I couldn't go home right after school. I might have been in detention because I was kind of a bad kid. So I get to my locker, get my stuff, and I turn around, and my buddy Matt Owens, who lives right across the street from me, was also there. He also might have had detention because he was kind of a bad kid too. Following the story so far? Basically, the people who walked from my house to school was Matt Owens, Chris Massey, Duke Dungan, excuse me, myself, Ken Vogelsang would sometimes come, Jimmy Mancuso would be there, Jimmy Pack would be there, TJ Virginso would be there, Bill Ebright would be there. I mean, we had a whole plethora of dudes that would just be in our house, and that was kind of fun. And we would walk each day to school. So as Matt and I are doing the reverse after school on Monday, walking down the alley, and we get to cross the road. Again, this is an old farmhouse, and I got a picture of a similar one, what it looks like. Cross the road, and we realize there's oranges that are on the ground. And there are cars driving up and down McClintock. Not sure if it was my idea or Matt's idea, or it was a mutual consenting idea, to decide to pick up an orange and throw it at a car. Seemed good. So sure enough, cars heading north on McClintock. Matt and I, we decide, let's throw an orange, and if the car's going to chase us, we're just going to run back into our neighborhood and be safe. So it's your neighborhood safe, right? So we hit this car. He locks up his brakes. Matt and I run. We're kind of laughing. The car just starts going again. Matt and I are just kind of giggling. We had cell phones back then, so don't call 911 unless they got all the way home. So Matt's like, dude, let's do it again. All right, let's go back. Got a couple more oranges. Boom, boom. I locks up the brakes. Matt and I run. We're laughing. I think it was fun. We did this 8 or 9 times. They're finally like, all right, let's do it one last time. All right, we're going to do it one last time. This would be awesome. So coming down McClintock, a couple of high school guys. So it takes in perspective, where that big white building is there is basically, this is the diagram of it. So the blue thing is where the farmhouse would be. The green are these 5-foot tall bushes. The orange are orange trees. I have a picture of this irrigation ditch. I have a picture of this wall. And I have a picture of these bushes called oleanders. And this vertical up-down arrow is McClintock. Okay. Matt and I. All right. One last time, then we'll go home. All right. So here come these teenagers. They're driving this dune buggy. And Matt and I see the dune buggy come down going, dude, this is going to be awesome. We're not just going to hit the car. We're going to hit the people in the car. Yeah, baby. Let's do it. There's a picture of Matt in middle school. There's a picture of me in middle school. Yeah, I had hair. Matt had a Van Halen hat. He was wearing the Van Halen hat that day. So Matt and I are standing at the edge of this. Here comes this dune buggy with his 2 high school dudes in it. and we hit them. And they don't lock up their brakes. They floor it. So they are now going to go this way. So Matt and I are running down this way. And we can see that he turns here. So if he knows the neighborhood, he's going to turn here, going to turn on Heather, which turns into Yale. And if he turns down this alleyway, Matt and I running this way. My house is like 5 down this way, so it's Matt's on the other side of the street. So I'm thinking, dude, that dune buggy's going to catch us. So I'm like, Matt, jump into Miller's backyard. Mike Miller lives right here. And Matt's like, no! And I go over the fence, 6 foot tall block fence, and I'm hiding in the backyard. Now, some sort of glitch in the matrix took place at this point in the story. Because Matt runs down the alley as the dune buggy starts going down the alley, and for some reason, they didn't see each other. I don't know what happened. I can't explain it. And Matt goes running down the street. Well, I'm hiding in the back of Miller's backyard, and I hear the dune buggy come out, and it's sitting right here in the dirt lot. And I could hear him going, where are those punks, man? We're going to kick their asses. I'm in this backyard, so I'm just getting scared. I'm starting to do some prayers, making promises I know I won't really keep, but I'm still making the promises. So I can hear them out there, and they're just about to go, but this alley right here is gravel. So you can hear somebody walking on gravel. And I'm sitting there in Mike's backyard. These guys don't know where either of us are at. And here comes Matt walking around the side. He goes, stirrup work. Hey, come here, you punk. Now, I'm in this backyard, and Matt's here. And all of a sudden, Matt's getting beat up pretty good. They start beating the hell out of him. And I hear Matt say, dude, give me back my Van Halen hat. And they get in the dune buggy and take off. Before they took off, he's doing donuts in the alley with the dune buggy right here. Maybe the big old dust cloud, he takes off. So I could have jumped over the fence and also gotten beat up, or I could have stayed where it was safe. And I didn't think there was any reason for both of us to get beat up, so I kept it safe. So I go jumping over the fence after the dune buggy takes off, and that's kind of on all fours on the ground. Crying, we have to get her help him up, and what's going on? So, man, those guys freaking beat me up. They stole my Van Halen hat. Oh, where were you? Well, I could have been honest with Matt, and I could have told him I was right about 10 feet away from him on the other side of the brick wall and heard everything that took place. Or I could give him a little bit better story. So I explained to Matt, I said, no, so what happened, Matt, is I jumped over Miller's fence, and then I jumped over into Gigi's backyard, then into Monica Thomas's backyard, then I jumped back into Gigi's backyard, then I jumped over Miller's fence, I heard the dune buggy take off, and I jumped over the fence. He goes, yeah, those guys are punks, man. Oh, man, I'm really sorry. Man, that sucks. Well, we walk home. No, that's not really beat up that bad. He got slugged a couple times. I mean, nothing horrible. So the next morning comes rolling around. We got like up to 14 people that show up to my house on Tuesday morning to walk to school. Well, Matt and I are going to disclose this newfound entertainment in town. And we're telling these guys, we're like, hey, we threw blah, 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 told about the dune buggy, how Matt's had guy and he got beat up. So we all decide, well, why don't we, on this side of the street, we'll grab some oranges, we'll run across the street and wait at the alley until another vehicle comes, and we'll throw oranges at that on our way to school, and then we'll just run down the alley and get to school because school is safe. Sounds good. Good plan. There's like 14 of us. We each got 2 oranges each. We're ready to bear. Well, you know the child molester van that your parents always told to stay away from, the white van? You know, anyone who drives a white van is definitely like, you know, kidnaps kids. You know what I'm talking about? Here comes this white van. He's heading south on McClintock going this way. We're all standing right here. This white van turned orange real quick. All the oranges unloaded on his van. He floors it, so he's going to go this way. All he has to do is go down McClintock, turn on Watson, and pull into the school parking lot, and he's probably going to catch us. So we're running down the alley. There's Todd Boatner's house right there. So we're running down the alley, and we can hear him we could hear this engine really revving loud, like tires squealing. Like he takes this corner probably like 60. And the only thing we can figure out is as we come running across the parking lot, we're looking to see if that white van's pulling in the parking lot. We can still hear him. But the only thing we figured is he pulled up into this street that looks like the letter P. And then we go running into campus and we're all laughing like, dude, that was awesome. So now it went from 2 people being addicted to this newfound fun we found to 14. And we didn't have social media broadcast what we did. We were just telling people in class, dude, let's talk about this at lunch. All right. So lunchtime is coming. Okay. We all stayed on campus for lunch. So basically, this is an aerial view of my middle school. We had lunch in this building here, and then we'd all hang out in this courtyard after lunch before we had to go to our next period class. There was like so many people that came out to hear this good news about this Orange Story fiasco. People wanted it. It was like we developed a new religion. People were like, give us a good word. We want the word. Nah. So we all come up with plans like, hey guys, meet us at the old farmhouse on Friday night. Today, the day before spring break. Now I'll assure you that Tuesday after school, Wednesday morning, Wednesday after school, Thursday morning, Thursday after school, and Friday before school, eventually you can throw some more oranges. But we have set the bait. Everybody is going to join us. Okay? Now, I kid you not, without social media, just word of mouth, we show up, and there are well over 100 people, middle school kids, that show up. It's like, this is going to be fun. We're on spring break. This is awesome. Can't wait. Now, we knew from growing up with all these kids, we knew that there were some kids that couldn't throw because, you played like, summer baseball with them, and you could, here, throw me the ball, and you'd watch him throw the ball and be like this contorted action to try and throw the ball, and you're like, no, throw me the ball. So we started assigning people. We had climbers, so they couldn't throw, but they were going to climb the trees and pick the oranges. We had gatherers who were going to gather all the oranges, bring it up next to the road. So those of us who could throw had an ample supply of ammunition for these poor souls of Tempe, Arizona on a Friday night. Okay, so a little more perspective on it. So I need you to realize how big orange trees are. That orange tree right there is 30 to 35 feet tall and about as round as this room. Okay, they're huge. So kids are in these trees. People are gathering oranges and they're bringing them up to us. So we have people in the orange trees. The smiley faces, those who could really throw really well are going to be. We had people that they could kind of throw, and they stood behind these 5-foot bushes, and we called them lobbers. And all their job was is take the oranges and just toss it over lightly so it hit the car, so the car would slow down. So those of us who had heat could hit cars as they slowed down. Duke Dunnigan and Brandon Daly, I got a picture of Duke here, I'll shoot in a minute. They were the spotters. Here comes Duke and Brandon Daly. Now, Duke, do you ever hear that Bud Light commercial where this guy's going, what's that? What's that? You ever heard it? Duke originated it. Duke comes over and goes, hey, what's that? Hey, Duke, what's up, Brandon? Like, hey, you guys go stand down here. We're going to throw oranges. Just keep an eye. Look out for cops. When you see a cop, just figure out a word you're going to say. Duke's like, dude, I'm going to say, oi. You hear me yell, oi. That means cop, run. All right. So Duke and Brandon are standing down here, keeping an eye on the road. People are in the trees, people are gathering oranges, got people ready to lob over, and we just start destroying cars. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, and we're running, having a good old time. We're laughing like crazy. Domino's pizza guy came rolling down the road, these had these big magnet things they put on the top that were lit up, put an orange right through it. It was awesome. I mean, we were just decimating McClintock. And this was fun. Now, in this picture, I'm going to show you some pictures of irrigation ditch for sure at the very top. I got a picture to show you what that is. The brick wall, I'm going to show you what that looked like. I'm going to also show you what oleanders and also a similar version of the farmhouse look like. So just in the perspective though, at the top right of this is where Scott Pearson's house is. Okay, Scott Pearson's house had this really big, cool elevated deck. So if you were on the elevated deck, you could see through the orange trees what we were doing. Now let me explain to you who Scott Pearson was. Scott Pearson's parents, every weekend, would leave the house and leave Scott directions going, you're not to have friends over at the house. What did Scott always hear? Yeah, we're having parties. Okay? That's what he heard. So we are doing some things. So let's give you some definitions of where these things, what they look like in perspective. Okay, so that irrigation ditch is the top left. It's about 6 foot wide, about 4 feet deep. It's how they used to irrigate the fields so you could get water to the oranges. It was still there. The 6 foot wall on the backside of the property looked like that. It was a 6 foot brick wall. The oleanders that are at the bottom of the stream, these are oleander bushes. Look how big these bushes are compared to that one-story house. They are enormous. Okay? And that kind of looks like what the old farmhouse looked like. Of course, when we were growing up as kids, our parents used to say, don't go to the old farmhouse. It's dangerous. So that's where we would go and just hang out because it was fun. Old house, creaky, holes in the floor, no windows. You know, you had areas of the house that, like, you stepped, you might fall through from the second floor to the first floor. That was basically it. So, there's a guy that's in the store. I'm going to show you the next, I believe this next picture. This is McClintock. So we're standing there on the far right where that semi is. Looks like an orange graveyard. But then Matt Armstrong, so some of the kids, they started winding down after we probably hit 30, 40 cars with oranges. So they all started going back to Scott Pearson's house. There's a handful of us that are still standing there. And Matt Armstrong on the left. Matt Armstrong is the instigator to anything. He could convince anybody to do anything stupid. And he kind of talked like this. He's like, hey, what's up, sir? That's how he talked. He still does. I'll see him on Monday night. Brad Herman's on the right. He was there as well. Brad Herman's actually in prison. But that's a different story for a different time. So Matt Armstrong, sir. There's like 8 or 9 of us that are sitting there by where we were throwing oranges. Matt's like, sir, you're a pitcher. I bet you don't have the balls to step out into the road, and the next car that comes, give it your fastest, hardest baseball pitch. Okay. Sounds like a good idea. Let me get a good orange here. That's good. I got good orange. I got the orange of oranges in my hand right now. So I go and I step out into the top. Okay. Coming towards me is this big old Chevy Blazer. I'm standing in the corner. This Blazer is doing 45, 50 miles an hour coming towards me. Check second base. Wind up. Whoa! As hard as I could. I didn't just hit this Blazer. I put it through the windshield. I turned to see my friends who are still sitting there. I can see that people are on the porch or the deck or at Scott Pearson's house. That's like kind of far away. But my friends that were there are running as fast as they can. I get out of the road and I start running. Now this guy, he's not happy. He's pissed. Some punk kid just put a orange through his windshield. It's very possible I could have hit him with the orange because it went through the window. So, I mean, he's coming at 45, 50 miles an hour at me. I pitch it. I probably put a 70-mile-an-hour fastball through his windshield. And it's time to run. Okay, so these girls are going to come into the next part of the story. I got to wind back a little bit. Let's get the little better perspective. on the field. Okay, so on the far left side here is McClintock. So I'm running this way. Everyone here is at Scott Pearson's house where my hand is, at the bottom center of this board. The guys that were running, that had dared me, are pretty much to Scott Pearson's house. So I decide, because this guy is now chasing me in his Blazer, I'm running on feet. So I decide, let's run across this field, because if I get chased by a car, it's a good idea that I can run across the field. I mean, I'm 14. I don't have the thought process that I should have of I'm running for my life because this guy's going to kill me. Now, this field, I'm running across this field, and I can hear people at Scott Pearson's house that can see all this. I can hear, stop, run! And I'm like, I can't try it. And I'm running as fast as I can. And this Blazer is right behind me. He's going to run me over. So I'm thinking, okay, this is like football. I'm going to like juke this way and then turn this way. And hopefully he turns one way. And what I didn't know is this field, if you were driving real fast on it, you go and turn, you're just going to hydroplane. So I juke left, go right, make a U-turn, and start running. I'm starting running back out this way. Now where these trees are at the very bottom of the screen is where the irrigation ditch was. Okay, you following the story so far? Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, if I can make it over this irrigation ditch, this ditch, that irrigation ditch, okay, top left of that board. So irrigation ditch, see where it's at? I know I can jump over it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be safe if I jump over it because he's driving. And it's like a hole in the ground. So I'm running this way. I can hear people that were still in the trees, like people were still climbing the trees. Like, what are these people doing? Like, why isn't everyone else like hiding? I'm running across and I get here like, hey, stop, keep going. So I'm running this way. The Blazer, four wheels, are drum all over the irrigation ditch. I'm like, ah! Like, this is bad. This is bad. Scott Pearson's house here, they're all looking. So I'm thinking, okay, my next line of defense is I'm going to try and run through these oleander bushes. Now, you saw how big these oleander bushes are. They're huge. Okay, so I'm running towards these oleander bushes, which is basically a wall of a bush that's like 20 feet tall. And so I go running through it. Right before I go through, I didn't wear glasses at the time because I had actually pretty good eyesight. I put my hand over my eyes because your mom always said don't poke your eye out. So I didn't want to. And so I'm running through these bushes as fast as I can, trying to get through bushes that thick. I get through them. The Blazer smashes into them and gets stuck. I'm like, whoo, and I run. I jump over the fence, the 6-foot fence that's there, and I go and I hide. So basically, I'm on this side of this fence. I jump over this brick wall, and I hide in the backyard over here, like 3 or 4 houses from Scott Pearson's house. Well, Duke and Brandon are still at the spotter position. I don't know why. I mean, they had a job to do. They were doing a hell of a job. So the guy in the Blazer sees those two come walking up and doesn't just beat them up. He gets a baseball bat out and is whooping on these guys with a baseball bat. Now I'm hiding in this backyard figuring, okay, if I can get to Pearson's house, I should be safe because there's a heck of a lot more of us than him. And that should be good. Okay. Well, I get back to Scott Pearson's house. So I'm hiding down here, one of these houses down, bottom of this picture. I get back to Pearson's house, go walk into his backyard. Everyone's like, dude, Stuart, man, you're right. Man, that was wild. That was wild. That was wild. Man, that was crazy, man. What's going on? Well, the ladies in this picture, this is Danielle. She's married to Matt Armstrong. They actually have 2 adult children who now have grandchildren. This is Jamie Tucker. She was a high school math teacher. Now she's a nurse. This is Heather Hendricks. She is a large animal veterinarian in Arizona. This is Brooke Brown. Brooke Brown was always the one mom of the group. This is Bobby Duenas. Stir up like Bobby Duenas. Yeah. Bobby. That's Susan Williams. Unfortunately, Susan Williams passed away about 5 years ago from lung cancer. And this Piper Barkley, she's actually a buyer for Dillard's and lives in Las Vegas. So I'm sitting there and people come around me, hey man, what's going on? Hey man, it's cool, good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Here comes Brooke Brown, the girl in the middle. Stop! She's walking up. She's like the mom. So what's up? Because of you, Duke and Brandon Daly got hit with a baseball bat. They didn't run. And she's like reading me the riot act. All of a sudden, I hear Matt Armstrong. He's on the other side of the group. He's like, stop! Who's on that? They're still oranges. Okay, let's go. So it's coming up on midnight. So here's a good thing. So Duke Dunnigan, that's Duke right here. Look, he's missing a tooth. That's Sage Johnson. He wasn't there that night, but Sage Johnson, he's a good cat. Sage actually plays drums for a death metal band down in Brazil. And this dude, we never knew what his real name was. We always knew him as Hairball. We didn't, I swear, we don't, like, I've asked people this day, like, hey Matt, what's Hairball's name? I don't know. I've asked everybody. No one knows what Hairball's real name was. Hairball and Sage weren't there, but Duke was there. But there's still oranges out there. So we're going to go back out there, a small portion of us. And we walk out there, and that straight across the street is the alley down to my middle school. But it's real quiet. There's no cars. Still oranges. The whole road is a death field of oranges. I mean, this is all orange. This whole road is all oranges. I could see something in this alley that was coming towards us. And what really be like? I could see like a little glimmer of light, and then it would go away. And then I'd see a glimmer of light again, like something was reflecting off the streetlights from the neighborhood next to the alley. I'm like looking down the road, and everyone else is kind of talking. I'm just staring down that alley. It's like, guys. So out there is me, Matt Owens, Matt Armstrong, Bobby Duenas, who I like, and a few others. And I turned and I look at them. I was like, guys, run! Cops! Yeah, Tempe PD showed up in force. I mean, they had the SWAT team out there. There might have been a helicopter that showed up. I mean, it was crazy. So we're running. Now, things that you have to understand, friends, if you're running from somebody as a group and you hide as a group, you're going to get found as a group. So I got an idea. I'm like, Bobby, we're running. What? Let's go to Shane Beaujolais' house. No, let's go to Pearson's house. No, the cops are already there. So, all right, I'll run with you. So Bobby and I, we are running back to Shane Beaujolais' house. At Shane Beaujolais' house, we have, that's an actual, so Shane Beaujolais' house is right here. Scott Pearson's house is like 6 houses up this way at the corner. In the backyard, there's an actual picture of the half pipe we had. We were total skaters. Right here. Okay, so where this backyard has green grass, now was a half pipe. So Bobby and I jump over the fence and we hide on the backside of under the flat top of the half pipe, or the platform of the half pipe, or hanging out, or sitting. And Bobby's crying. I'm like, Bobby, it's okay. She's like, no, I'm scared. Bobby's okay. I said, Bobby, don't worry, I'll walk you home. She goes, no, I'm scared. Hey, what happened to my thing? So Bobby is all upset because we could hear the cops driving up and down the alley. We could hear the radios going. They're looking for us. They're looking for some meathead kids. I'll change platforms because this isn't working. So our idea is, okay, the cops are looking for us. We're not going back to Scott Pearson's house because that's where a whole bunch of kids are, and we ain't going. So we decide, all right, Bobby, we're going to walk outside, walk out in front of Shane's house, and we are going to take a look where Pearson's house is. If there's cops there, we ain't going. If there aren't cops there, we'll go down and take a look. Give me a second, warm it up. Come on, baby. There it goes. All right. So, here's our plan. We're here in the backyard. So we're walk out by the pool. We can see Mr. and Mrs. Beaujolais in their living room watching TV. We're like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Beaujolais. They're like, who the hell's in our backyard? Come walking out front. We look down this way. Scott Pearson's house is all quiet, and there's a cop still sitting there. Guess where we ain't going? Scott Pearson's house. So, all right, Bobby, I'll walk you home. Now, let me put you in perspective. My home, in reference to this picture, is like top right. Bobby's house is like a mile this way, top left. Okay? So we come walking out. We get to about right here. So my idea is I'm gonna walk her down this way. We'll walk down Watson. That's the name of this road right here. And we get to about right here. I was like, Bobby, you're my girlfriend. Hold my hand. She's like, okay. So we're holding hands. Yeah, baby. Surf that first base with Bobby. Oh, so we're walking down this way, and we're just about to get to the alley, and a cop comes jumping out of the alley. Hey, what are you guys doing? Hello, officer. We're all good kids. We just came from poetry reading or something. So we're holding hands. What are you doing? I'm just walking my girlfriend home. Well, we got to report the kids that were throwing oranges at cars. No, sir. Well, where do you live? Points to me. Top right. Where does Bobby live? Top left. There's no reason why we would walk from my house, come down south, and then go back up north. Cop says, let me smell your hands. I could have bathed in bleach for 10 years, and they actually still smell like oranges. Smells her hands. Tells us, okay, here's the situation. I'm going to write you up on a field card, and I'm going to call your home and tell your parents what you were doing, and we're going to get field cards. Okay, this is New Orleans. I'm sure this is similar to what Tempe looked like. Field card is basically you write down their information. They file it away. It's on file somewhere at the police station. Like, okay. So I'm about ready to tell the cop why my hands smell like oranges. Because remember, the whole neighborhood is full of orange trees. Agree? So I was just about to say, just about to come out of my mouth, say, well, we grabbed a couple oranges and we peeled them and we ate them. And Bobby says, we were eating orange pie. And he's like, what is orange pie? Like, I had to do an extensive Google search to find this picture of orange pie. I didn't know this existed. And the cop gets all of her information. And so Bobby gives her information. She's crying. And then the cop's coming to me for my information. Now, my parents' phone number, you didn't have to call the 3-digit prefix. You just had to call 839-1202. That's my parents' number. Or I have my own phone number, which is 820-3884, which rings only to my bedroom. That's my phone. My parents don't answer my phone. So Bobby's kind of facing me, and the cop's facing me. And Bobby's like, your dad's name, my name is Robert Stirrup. Okay. What's your father's phone number? My father's phone number is 820-3884. I see Bobby's eyes get huge, like, holy shit. Stirrup just lied to the cops. Yes, I did. So I get Bobby home, get home, go to bed. Saturday around 2 o'clock, my phone rings. I had changed my greeting to, hey, it's Chris, leave a message, you, yeah, rock and roll, whatever my message was. Hi, it's Robert Stirrup, please leave a message. Change my voice on it. And I can hear the answer machine. Hello, it's Officer Stubbs from the Tempe Police Department. My phone number is this. I'd like to talk to you about what your son was involved in last night. So I'm sitting in my room, I hear this message. Okay, I'm going to call Officer Stubbs back. And I'm not going to be Chris Stirrup, I'm going to be Robert Stirrup. So I've kind of put a sock over the receiver to disguise my voice because I keep it up. Officer Stubbs, hi, my name is Robert Stirrup. You called about my son Christopher? So I proceed to hear what our entire night entailed and how 75 other kids were involved in this. Not sure how the other 25 got away, but someone left. Yes. Like, huh. So my son did what? He's grounded. Do you want me to bring him down to the police station? No, sir, that's not necessary. Well, I'm so very sorry. This will never happen again. Hang up the phone. I give Matt a call, 838-0460. Hey, Matt! Stirrup, I'm grounded. Oh. Call Matt Armstrong. Hey, what's up, Matt? Stirrup, I'm grounded. Call Brad Herman. Hey, Stirrup, I'm grounded. Call Bobby. What's up, Bobby? Stirrup, I'm grounded. Everybody was grounded over spring break except for this guy. And that's the orange story. No one.